good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Fumi, lead consultant, Maxim Concepts Consulting Practice. And so what is Maxim Concepts Consulting Practice? What is it all about? It's a team of professionals, and we do advisory, we do training on related matters like law, like risk management, like auditing and accounting. Yes, auditing and accounting, and governance. Yes, governance. And so, just as not to seem as if the reason why I came is just to talk about Maxim concept, I'll be talking to us about internal audit review and assessment and the use of AI. Yes, and what I will talk to us about will be just a general one, because we all know the specific. I'm auditing a payable, I know what to do. I'm auditing a receivable, I know what to do. I'm auditing a cash and bank, obviously I know what to do. But most of the time, the general ones, we don't consider it, and the general ones are like, the planning and the risk assessment. The risk assessment talking about the fact that, consider the fact that, it's a risk-based audit. Very important to put that into consideration. And the planning aspect, that you ensure that the planning, the overall planning of whatever you want to do as far as that audit is concerned is been in place. It's in place, and that is why the auditing standard, ISA 300 talks about developing an overall strategic audit plan. And also auditing standard 315 talks about understanding entity and environment. Very important that before you can say you want to audit a particular entity, do you have a good understanding of that client? Do you have a good understanding of what they do? Very important. Okay, so that's another thing. And this ISO 109112018 talks about the fact that aside from the planning and the assessment, you need to have IT knowledge of the environment, the client that you are auditing. Very important. And the other one I want to talk about is the scope of the audit exercise. The scope of the audit exercise deals with the significant aspect of the risk that you want to the significant risk that you are trying to assess as far as that organization is concerned. That you don't need to consider everything, you just consider the riskiest aspect of the transaction. And that is where the AI issue now comes in, because AI is now saying that you can do 100% data set review, that you don't need to take into consideration what this auditing standard that talks about sampling, or this standard 530 that talks about sampling, that different techniques that you can use, and these sampling techniques that you can use during your audit exercise. AI is now saying that okay, you can even do 100%. So you also put that into consideration. These are things that you consider as far as the audit exercise is concerned. And like I said, it's general. We all know what to do when it comes to specific, but the general ones very, very, very important as well. And so I will also talk about the last one I will talk about is the evaluation of internal control system. And this has even come to stay very well now. Yes, it's what we do before now, but internal control over financial reporting has also even now made it very, very important, very, very important to consider as far as the client, the company, the service, the clients you are auditing. It has made it very, very important. Also, so you will have considered the internal control system, in the effectiveness of that internal control system in that organization. Put it into consideration, so that it will now form the basis of whether you carry out substantive testing. Because if the internal control system is robust, then there is no point doing substantive testing again. There's no point doing it, because the control system in the organization is superb. And that is all I have to. There are other ones, but that is all I have to talk to us about. Thank you, everyone. Kindly like, share, and subscribe. Do have a good day. Bye, everyone.